waiting on those possible showers and thunderstorms to head our way. Hopefully it won't be too bad out there. One thing that is a little shocking is the humidity as you step out.
That's for sure. All that humidity is going to go whoop. It's going to go up, and we're going to see some showers and thunderstorms for basically the middle part of today. Between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. is when the CBS19 weather experts have that weather impact alert in place. We've got a couple of showers starting to develop already across parts of East Texas, but the real show that we're going to be watching for is this right here, heading just to the going to probably miss the Metroplex, at least the heaviest of the rain there, heading towards the Waco area. That will make its way closer to East Texas. It will likely affect areas, especially along and south of I-20, at least with the heaviest part. But a lot of us will have a chance to see some rain today. Skies out there, absolutely gorgeous. Got some, we call these cumulus clouds there, basically, or stratocumulus, I should say. And just a gorgeous sky out there. Orange out there. It's beautiful. Upper 70s to low 80s. It's a very toasty start and definitely a very humid start out there. First half of the day is a weather impact alert for that chance for some showers and thunderstorms that will be heavy at times. Will be around 82 for the high, so the temperatures won't be changing too much for today. We'll continue that trend in the low 80s for the rest of your 3-day forecast and potentially all the way through your 7-day forecast. Looking forward to showing you that. I'll show you that a little bit later on top of the timing for the severe thunderstorms this morning.
All right, thanks so much, Joel. Now to Cherokee County, where a teenager is recovering after being accidentally shot by a friend earlier this month.
And his family calls his survival nothing short of a miracle. The teen was at a friend's house when a gun thought to be unloaded accidentally fired, hitting him in the stomach. And despite the severe injuries, he has made a significant progress in his recovery and is now back home with his family.
He barely touched the trigger, just like that, just instantly. It was like a movie. I just heard a big flash, smell of gunpowder, and I was on the ground. I turned around, I was bleeding.
Talking about the path of that bullet, that didn't make sense. There was no logical way to explain how that happened except for by God. There's no luck in it.
Well, Ezekiel and his family emphasize the importance of always handling guns with extreme care, double checking that they are unloaded and keeping them stored securely. And his journey to full recovery is still ongoing, but his family says they are grateful every single day and determined to use this experience as a lesson for others.
The woman tied to a suspected puppy mill in Smith County has died, and now dozens of neglected dogs are recovering in the hands of animal control. That's according to the Smith County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say 44 dogs, mostly whippets and a few standard poodles, were found in filthy, overcrowded cages outside Troop with no food, water, or care for at least 12 hours. Many were malnourished with skin conditions, overgrown nails, and possible digestive issues. Smith County Animal Control is now overseeing their care. And an East Texas man accused of murder is set to step into court today. According to the Gregg County Sheriff's Office, Levon Bullock was arrested on Monday. During a welfare check on Crystal Street, authorities found a woman later identified as Kathleen Bullock dead from a gunshot wound. Bullock is currently sitting in the Gregg County Jail. His bond is not yet set.
An Athens ISD band director has resigned following his arrest earlier this month. Nichols Durham was charged with possession of controlled substances after deputies found suspected meth during a drug search at an apartment in Athens. The school board has formally accepted his resignation. Meanwhile, Cheyenne Hernandez is stepping in as the interim band director. They've also hired additional staff members to help and support students in this transition.
A close call at a business in Hopkins County when an explosive device was discovered. We're told authorities were able to safely clear that scene. The sheriff's office says it was discovered at Reed's Scrap Metals on FM 1870. They called in the Garland Bomb Squad and the 301st Fighter Wing Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team out of the Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base in Fort Worth. Now, roads in the area were shut down as a precaution. The sheriff's office says the device was made safe. We'll keep you updated on air and on CBS19.tv as we learn any more about this situation.
Meanwhile, Winsboro ISD's assistant band director has resigned after alleged comments related to the assassination of a conservative activist, Charlie Kirk. The district told us he stepped down on September 12th. While district leaders haven't shared exactly what was said, interim superintendent Aaron Nation told families that the district does not condone political hate speech, or discrimination of any kind. He added that Winsboro ISD takes these matters seriously and is committed to maintaining a safe, respectful environment for all students.
It's 7 minutes after 7 now. The Caldwell Zoo had to say goodbye to a beloved resident. Socks, a red fox who delighted visitors for more than a decade, passed away.
I actually got to hold Socks when he came in. He was just a little bitty youngster, and he was pretty cute.
Socks was rescued in 2013 after a car accident killed his mother. He survived, but with lasting injuries, and despite being deaf and later nearly blind, Socks lived more than 12 years at the zoo. Staff says that he never missed a meal and never stopped greeting them with joy. Scotty Steinbach, a curator at the zoo, says Socks is already missed.
The staff, we were all really attached to him because of that and because of his story. I mean, he was a survivor. He was a tough little guy, but he lived a very good life here at the zoo and was well taken care of, and we're super proud to have him, and we're going to miss him deeply.
Socks was the last red fox at the Caldwell Zoo, and there are no immediate plans to bring in another. The zoo says his story and the strength that he showed will never be forgotten. Well, drivers in Lufkin, we've got a heads up for you. The south lane of eastbound Frank Avenue will close today, this evening, for demolition work at the old jail. Now, city crews will close that lane at 5:30, reopening around 10 p.m. tonight. Motorists should consider alternate routes and stay alert near the work zone. Officials say this work is part of ongoing improvements in that area. Well, with the forecast in mind today, because of our weather impact alert day, state officials are moving into action.
Governor Greg Abbott directed the Texas Division of Emergency Management to activate the resources ahead of this potential severe weather. And in Mount Pleasant, 2 swift water rescue boat teams from Task Force 1 are now staged and ready to go, just in case flooding becomes a problem. Now, emergency officials say they are trained for this type of situation and want to remind people this isn't the time to take chances.
There's always the potential of, if you live in a low area, of flooding. And if we hit a whole lot of rain, that just increases the chances. And so people need to be prepared. We have to send out the information, but it's up to the people to actually, take action on it and pay attention to it.
One of the biggest warnings from emergency officials is don't drive through flooded roads. So here's a reminder this morning: turn around, don't drive. And flooded roads can be deeper and more dangerous than they can look, especially in the dark. And this morning, you may notice students, teachers, and others gathered at their school's flagpoles. Today is See You at the Pole Day. It's a time when students across the country plan to start the day with prayer for their schools, teachers, and principals, and even fellow students in the country as well. See You at the Pole is a global student-led organization. It started in 1990 at a youth group retreat by students who felt led to pray at several schools in the Dallas area.
10 minutes after 7, time for your morning headlines. President Trump is back at the White House after addressing the United Nations General Assembly in New York. He used the opportunity yesterday to criticize Europe for its migration and green energy policies. After meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky later in the day, the president changed his stance on the Russia-Ukraine war. In a social media post, he said he now believes that Ukraine can win the war against Russia with European Union support and can win back all of the land that it's lost in the war. The man accused of attempting to kill President Trump on his Florida golf course could now spend the rest of his life behind bars. Ryan Routh was found guilty of all 5 charges yesterday. After the verdict, Routh tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen before authorities intervened. He'll be sentenced in December. And if you normally get your tax refund in a paper check, that is about to change. Starting September 30th, the IRS will stop issuing them to individual taxpayers. This is part of a federal order requiring electronic payments. During the 2025 tax season, 93% of refunds were sent by direct deposit. Exceptions will be available for those without bank accounts, including options like prepaid cards or digital wallets. And NASA is gearing up for missions to the moon and eventually Mars. Artemis 2, a crewed flight around the moon, is slated for April 2026 to test systems for deep space travel. NASA's goal: learn to live off the land before taking the next step to the red planet. The agency also unveiled 10 new astronaut candidates who could, one day, walk on Mars. A lot of wait and see here, but
A lot of wait and see.
It's exciting.
I'm glad it's them and not me.
I'd rather it be me. I want to go up in space. All right, let's take a break from news and bring our question of the day this morning. What instantly makes you feel nostalgic?
Oh, there's a ton of things for me. Music, kid shows, holidays. I would say
Yes.
holidays is probably my top one.
Isn't
Yeah.
it though?
Oh,
like
yeah.
brings you back whenever you, well, for me, whenever I watch my kids open all their gifts, I remember all that joy that I felt too as a
Yeah,
kid.
It's always Christmas that makes you feel nostalgic for some reason. Even though it might be 80 degrees out here, it still feels
It
nice.
is not 80 every Christmas. You keep saying that.
Most Christmas.
Absolutely not. It is usually a
Sometimes.
little bit cold on Christmas.
Yeah, I think for me, this one really hits home. There's a page on X that like kind of shows videos from like, you know, whenever we were growing up.
Yeah.
When you were growing up as well. I don't want it to make it seem like it's just us, it's you as well.
I also get
Yeah,
nostalgic.
and there's stuff like, for example, like right before Christmas time, like you guys mentioned, just leaving for winter break, right? It's all
Yep.
cold outside.
The
you know,
Christmas
you have the
parties.
parties and
The
stuff like that.
crafts. Oh, yeah, I love those
That,
videos.
and then one more for me. Shout out to my dad again. There was a meal we used to eat all the time. It's just rice and sausage, just cheddar
Yum.
broccoli rice, Polish sausage. Anytime I think about that, or I have it, I still have it to this day. Anytime I have it, I'm just like, man, this is the good old days. When life was
Right.
simple. Yeah.
You know what also makes me nostalgic? Those Christmas commercials, like the ones with the Clydesdales or the coffee commercial,
Or the
you know?
Hershey's one,
The
too.
Folgers
Yeah,
in your cup.
That one plays
yeah.
every year, and it's very nostalgic from whenever I was a kid watching that commercial. And just things associated to whenever I was a kid, when things were simpler.
What makes
And
you
not-
nostalgic?
Naps, but here's the reason. Here's the reason. In kindergarten, we used to take naps.
Right?
They don't do that anymore, apparently.
And I didn't want to take one in
I didn't want
kindergarten.
to either, but
I was
now I
like,
do.
I don't take naps.
Oh, man,
I
y'all-
do not take naps.
I was that one kid who would not take naps, and I would just
What
toss
you
and turns on my
wouldn't
mat, right, to go back and actually take those naps.
I never had that. Never,
Really?
I never
You
had
never
that.
took a nap?
Well, we never had nap.
You
we
never had nap time?
We never had nap time.
Part of our
I took naps.
school list was buying a little like nap
Yeah,
mat.
that little thing
Yeah.
that barely gave you any
Anything.
support
It was
whatsoever.
cold too.
So
Oh,
cold. And you had no blanket? I can't sleep without a blanket
No.
now.
Y'all are better than me.
That's why I
like-
couldn't. That's probably why I couldn't nap.
Oh, I loved me some nap time in kindergarten.
Today, the
oh,
weather.
even now. Oh, even now.
This
yeah.
afternoon, maybe the weather will be perfect nap time. Don't nap on the roads
Yeah,
Right.
don't
as
don't
you head
be-
out.
Yeah,
but
don't
after
be,
that.
Yeah, don't be napping on the roads. But yeah, it's gonna be. I would say that's gonna be pretty good nap time weather for the middle part of today. But let's take a look outside. Let's get outside to our CBS19 on-scene unit. We are still on Highway 64 this morning, heading westbound. Traffic starting to pick up just a little bit, but it is just a gorgeous day out there. I mean, we are definitely on the warm side, that is for sure. We're in the upper 70s to low 80s when it comes to our temperature, so yikes, we're warm. We're going to get a little bit warmer, maybe a little bit this afternoon, but a lot of it's going to be the same. But so far, so good on Highway 64. Let's take a look at our I-20 report this morning. 2 hours to get to Dallas and an hour and 30 minutes to get to Shreveport. So it should be smooth sailing both ways on I-20. Smooth sailing both ways on US 69 as well. 2.5 hours up to Denison and an hour and 30 minutes to get to Lufkin. Now, a couple of things that we're tracking on our CBS19 live radar. We got some showers that are moving out of the area. Excuse me, just south of Marshall and into Panola County that are moving out of there. We have another shower that's developing over southern Cherokee County near the Alto area. It's not a thunderstorm just yet. We don't have any lightning strikes with that yet, but that's what we're tracking this morning. We have another mess of thunderstorms off to the west that's going to be moving in as we head into the rest of this morning and into this afternoon. The heaviest of the bunch is going to be over deep East Texas, and then by the afternoon, by maybe say 4 or 5 o'clock dinner time, should be in pretty good shape. Just going to be a little bit damp out there, but we are going to be pretty rain free after that. And we're also going to be a little bit cooler going into tonight and for the next several days. So I think by the time we get to 9 o'clock, I think we'll start to see a little bit more in the way of showers and thunderstorms. That's why I'm giving you a yellow light by then. But your afternoon commute looks pretty good. 4, 5, and 6, I think all the activity should be out of the area. So I'm not worried about any sort of rain at that juncture, but definitely going to be some wet roadways in some locations. So just be careful out there. Otherwise, green × 3 for this afternoon.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. 7:17 this morning. Still had a silent threat to your heart health. Atrial fibrillation, or AFib, often goes undetected, but it is linked to the deadly strokes and heart failures. Still ahead, the warning signs you should not ignore, and why doctors say early treatment can make all the difference.
Coming up in sports, we preview our game of the week. It's a 7-mile rivalry, a game that just doesn't get any bigger than that.
It's time for CBS 19 Sports.
Welcome back, East Texas. I'm Damian Bartonic, and you know what time it is. Time to talk all things sports. Week 5 of the high school football season is here. That means the 7-mile rivalry has arrived. And now, these two teams are very easy to confuse with each other for a lot of reasons. They got similar colors. They got the same mascot. Hey, they even got the same record, all right? They're both undefeated, 4-0. But they're also coming off very emotional weeks. Now in Troop, it was a scarily familiar moment in last week's affair when Rusk player Aiden Adams had to be taken to the hospital by an ambulance after a scary head injury left him temporarily paralyzed on the field. It's something that the Troop community unfortunately had seen before, and it hit home for both teams.
You know, anytime a player goes down, obviously you're scared, nervous about how serious it is, and especially with what's happened at Troop here several years ago now, or a few years ago. You know, our players started praying. I saw a picture of our cheerleaders and players and our trainers all praying together over the kid, and so you know, thank goodness that he is okay and he's going to make a full recovery, and the good Lord took care of us on that.
Hey, let's go ahead and focus on ARP now, as they're coming into this game with a lot of momentum. They whooped up on Sabine last week in front of DeMar Villanovas, pretty special company, and this week they'll look to do it again, and they're not going to need an NFL player for motivation. I just told you, the 7-mile rivalry, baby. Now, this one's the biggest game of the season for both teams. It's also the first district game of the season, so you know they're not taking this one lightly.
This is the most important week because this is the one we're in right now. So this is the most important. This is the biggest game we've played this year so far.
Feeling good. We're really confident. Our offense is doing their job. Our defense is doing their job. You know, we feel really good. We think we're going to come out.
Now, both of those teams are just fired up. I was there at practice for both of them yesterday. Hey, they're ready. Now, one thing about those teams like ARP and Troop is that they win consistently, and in large part it's due to the culture established by the head coach that they have. And here in East Texas, we've had a few new head coaches step in this year to fulfill that role specifically for the first time, and some even for the second time. Now 4 weeks in, and they're seeing some good progress. Jimmy Searfoss breaks it down.
It's the most daunting challenge a coach can do, and several men across East Texas are taking on the task. Stepping in and building a program into a winner requires a litany of things, like building a winning staff, developing a winning mentality in the team, and, well, winning. Down in Henderson, Ricky Meeks has checked all of those boxes, including that last one. His Lions have won 3 of their last 4, with their only loss coming in an overtime thriller versus Athens. This ain't Meeks' first time with the program, and these Lions just missed the playoffs last year, but he's got them on a good track to get them back. There are levels to this, though, and Monty Stevenson is starting in the hardest one, building a Jacksonville team that's been missing out on its glory days. Their progress hasn't shown up yet in the records, but the box score is showing a more productive offense than last year. Plus, their freshman team is undefeated. Keep an eye on them in the next few years. Bluffkin, though, they ain't missed a beat. Carl Absek is running that Panthers team into just about every top team list in the state. The Panthers aren't just looking for a building season with their new coach, they're looking for a deep playoff one. Just like every other coach in East Texas. And as we approach the halfway point in the season, they've all got plenty of time to get there.
And Jimmy's right. They got plenty of time to get there. We're only 5 weeks into the year. It's kind of crazy, but still plenty of time. That was my boy reporting there, Jimmy Searfoss. And hey, it's all the time I have for you in sports this morning. But stick around. We still got plenty of news and weather for you. Morning, y'all.
All right, Damien, thanks so much. 7:22 this morning. We're about to step away for a quick moment while we do our over-the-air broadcast with a quick news update.
We'll be right back with more here on CBS 19 and CBS 19 Plus.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez.
And I'm Dana Dixon. Thank you for joining us for this news update. An East Texas man accused of murder is set to be in court today. According to the Gregg County Sheriff's Office, Levon Bullock was arrested on Monday. During a welfare check on Crystal Street, authorities found a woman later identified as Kathleen Bullock dead from a gunshot wound. Bullock is currently sitting in the Gregg County Jail. His bond is not yet set.
An Athens ISD band director has resigned following his arrest earlier this month. Nicholas Durham was charged with possession of a controlled substance after deputies found suspected meth during his drug search at an apartment complex in Athens. The school board has now officially accepted his resignation.
And the woman tied to a suspected puppy mill in Smith County has died, and now dozens of neglected dogs are recovering in the hands of animal control. That's according to the Smith County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say 44 dogs, mostly whippets, and a few standard poodles were found in filthy, overcrowded cages outside a troop with no food, water, or care for at least 12 hours. Many were malnourished with skin conditions, overgrown nails, and possible digestive issues. Smith County Animal Control is now overseeing their care. Well, with rain expected later today, state officials are already moving into action.
Governor Greg Abbott directed the Texas Division of Emergency Management to activate resources ahead of severe weather threat. And Mount Pleasant 2 swift water rescue boats teams from Texas Task Force 1 are now staged and ready to go just in case flooding becomes a concern.
There's always the potential of, if you live in a low area, of flooding. And if we hit a whole lot of rain, that just increases the chances. And so people need to be prepared. We have to send out the information, but it's up to the people to actually, take action on it and pay attention to it.
One of the biggest warnings from emergency officials is that don't drive through flooded roads. So here's your reminder to turn around and don't drown. All right, we're going to get a check on that forecast with Joel. Cloudy skies starting to build in this morning.
Yeah, we got a couple of showers in place this morning. We also have a weather impact alert for that threat for wind and flash flooding with a severe thunderstorm complex that is expected to move through between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. So we definitely have to make sure you are aware of that. Definitely stay weather aware into the middle of this morning. 9 a.m. we got some showers starting to get going here. Cold front drops down. Got more heavy showers and thunderstorms developing by noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Heaviest of the bunch is going to be over deep East Texas, where the most favorable environment is going to be. But then by the time we get to 4 o'clock and onward, cold front will pass down. Temperatures will cool down. We'll have low temperatures tonight in the low to mid 60s. That north wind holding on. We got some lower humidity. Cooler temperatures for tomorrow will be in the low 80s, and that will carry on into the rest of this week with lots of sunshine. Temperatures in the low 80s, eventually making their way back into the upper 80s by this weekend. Sunshine still holding on. We will have a little bit of cloud cover to deal with for the start of next week, but overall a great forecast.
Welcome back to Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour.
After the deadly July 4th floods earlier this year, Camp Mystic is set to reopen a part of its camp next summer. The details coming up.
And a world champion rider in East Texas is proving strength comes in different forms. After a life-changing diagnosis, she found healing in a saddle, and now she and her rescue horse are taking home the honors on the world stage. That story coming up next.
And parts of East Texas could see some strong to severe thunderstorms with damaging winds and flash flooding. That's going to be within that 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. time frame. We'll take a look at what Future Skycast says about it in your forecast. That's all ahead on Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Good morning, y'all. Thanks for staying with us here on CBS 19 Plus. I'm Dana Dixon.
And I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you for being with us here this morning. We do have some breaking news we're following closely right now out of the Dallas area. We know 3 people were injured at a Dallas ICE facility this morning, around 7 this morning, and police are still searching for a possible sniper or multiple shooters. Police responded to a U.S. Immigration and ICE office around 7 on North Stemmons Freeway in Dallas. This is just off Interstate 35E if you're familiar with that area. Sources tell our sister station in Dallas, WFAA, that one shooter was found shot on the roof of a nearby immigration attorney's office, but more details have not been released. Of course, this is still a developing story we're following within the last 30 minutes or so. So as we learn more throughout this show and on the news show, we'll keep you posted.
And if you're headed that direction, make sure you be careful out there. Well, Camp Mystic in Kirk County plans to reopen next summer. Devastating floods back in July killed 27 campers and counselors. Now, according to the Associated Press, the camp sent an email to the families of those victims Monday saying its planning and procedures will follow new legislation just passed by state lawmakers. A large part of the camp still remains damaged. Leaders say that area will remain closed. The century-old camp for girls also plans to build a memorial to the victims.
Well, a new age requirement for buying consumable THC products has been approved by the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission. Moving forward, consumers must be at least 21 years old to buy, and stores must check IDs. This marks the first big change following Governor Greg Abbott's executive order to regulate the hemp industry. TBC will start enforcing the new rules October 1st. Meanwhile, a major investment in Texas from a pharmaceutical giant that is. Governor Abbott says Eli Lilly is investing $6.5 billion to build a 1 million square foot active pharmaceutical ingredient facility in the Houston area. Now, this is expected to create about 600 new jobs, plus another 4,000 jobs with construction going on as this facility is being built. All right, 7:36 this morning now, when life threw her a challenge, one East Texas woman found strength in the saddle. After losing mobility to a rare autoimmune disease, she turned to therapeutic horse riding, and now she is a world champion. Yeah, CBS 19's Ziana Ayers shows us how determination, a rescue horse, and a nonprofit changed her life.
Polly, will you check in, or is that camera too close? Yeah.
The only reason that I have any ability to walk at all, even with my aids, is due to the therapeutic riding.
Caroline Vance grew up riding horses, but after developing a disability, she returned to the saddle through therapeutic riding.
I had my first attack of that in May of last year.
She's been riding at Grit Therapeutic Horsemanship for the past 18 months. Caroline lives with several autoimmune diseases that impact her mobility.
I came to ride due to ankylosing spondylitis, which is an autoimmune disease that affects the spine, the hips, the small joints.
After months of training, Caroline qualified for Western Dressage Association of America World Championship, and she came home a 3-time world champion. She competed against over 1,000 riders with disabilities and over 300 horses.
It really empowers me as somebody who's disabled.
She won overall champion in the Exceptional Rider Division, the Harmony Award, and high score with Apollo, a rescue horse. The pair also earned top honors in the Rescue Breed Division.
A horse's movement actually simulates the way a human walks, and because of that, it's helped me keep muscle tone during the periods of time that my legs are too weak for me to walk on my own.
Without riding, she says her strength and mobility would have declined even faster.
She works very, very hard. She's always pushing herself, and I think it shows through her achievements.
You want to go out with your friends?
Grit was founded by Kat Scott in 2020 after a life-threatening car crash in Palestine. She used her settlement to start a nonprofit.
We work with clients of all ability levels, so significant special needs all the way up to neurotypical and able-bodied.
Caroline is the first Grit rider to qualify for the world competition. She says being a part of the organization has empowered her to be stronger, more independent, and an advocate for herself.
Don't let your disability hold you back from what it is you want to do.
In Flint, I'm Ayana Aird, CBS 19.
Well, over in Central Texas, Waco's coffee scene just got a cultural infusion.
And I do love me my coffee and a whole lot of flavor too as Hispanic Heritage Month continues. One New Cafe is brewing more than just lattes. Adrian Carvajal has more.
In the heart of Waco's 25th Street sits Mila Cafe, a small coffee shop with big roots. It's not just another spot to grab a morning latte, it's Waco's very first Mexican-owned coffee shop.
As a minority, sometimes it is more hard, especially if Spanish is your first language. Walking into local coffee shops and kind of ordering, sometimes that could be difficult. We see like Hispanics walk in all the time, and they're like, oh, Bad Bunny is playing, like this is my spot. We love to see that our Hispanic community can walk into a space and they feel like, oh, this is ours.
What started in 2019 as a curbside coffee truck has now grown into a brick and mortar business serving traditional drinks like café de olla, which is a more cinnamon-based coffee, mazapan lattes, and dirty horchata.
So this horchata is freshly made every day. It's nice and creamy.
All infused with Mexican flavors and family recipes.
We try to create as much as we can from our culture, like mazapan latte. You know, we got the peanut candy and we try to implement that into a coffee. We do also have the café de olla. We get all the recipes that they put in a café de olla, but we turn it into a syrup and we make a latte out of that. And then we also have one of our most popular drinks, the dirty horchata. I got my grandmother's recipe, my mom's recipe, my tia's.
For the Olveras, their Mexican heritage isn't just part of the menu, it's the foundation. They aim to build a space where everyone feels welcome, especially other Latinos.
It's nice, it's really prideful to see that, you know, and especially trying to make an effort to support it as much as I can. I think I've came here pretty much every day.
So whether you're stopping by for a mazapan latte or just looking for a place that feels like family, Mila Cafe serves more than just a cup of coffee.
That sounds great.
It does. It sounds fabulous. Maybe a trip down to Waco?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Dr. Pepper Museum is there too.
All right, let's jump on in and start talking some trending stories. Halloween might still be a few weeks away, but Spirit Halloween says the season is already in full swing. And if you want to be the talk or trick or treat of the trail, they have just released the hottest looks for 2025. Spirit Halloween says green is the new black with wicked looks inspired by Glinda and Elphaba, while Marvel heroes in Spider-Man suits are also swinging into stores. Netflix's Squid Game making a big return with player tracksuits and the iconic frontman mask flying off shelves. And if spooky is your vibe, you can terrify the neighborhood as Art the Clown, or keep it nostalgic with Wednesday Addams and the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, they have some different trends. One of the other trends that Spirit of Halloween was talking about is Pinkoween.
Pinkoween?
Yeah, it's playful, viral aesthetic with glittery twist on traditional Halloween frights, the Galloween trend, kind of.
I feel like that would have come out or would have been popular whenever the Barbie movie came out.
Oh, yeah,
because during
maybe.
that summer, even that Halloween, it was either Barbie or Oppenheimer, and that whole little trend that was going on during Halloween. I feel that would have fit. Barbenheimer. I feel like that would have fit that time frame.
And then there's nostalgic ones. You can go Happy Gilmore, South Park, and we mentioned SpongeBob, Jurassic Park, Star Wars. These are. Let's go nostalgic or pink for me. I could Pinkoween today.
Let's do it. Some people go.
Hank Hill is also nostalgic. I could be Hank Hill if you want me to.
Simple and easy.
Be a skinny one for sure.
we can put some pillows in there and help you out.
Like that. All right, sticking with the Halloween theme. It just can't come soon enough, y'all. For one team, though, in eastern Pennsylvania, 16-year-old Joseph Vinciale turned his family's basement into a full-on haunted house.
Love it.
Or hotel, that is, complete with an elevator, a ballroom, and even a speakeasy lounge. Why not? He's been building and designing every single detail since May with the help of his family and friends. And the Vinciali Manor opens to the public on October 24th and the 25th. Tickets, so cheap, $5. And the best part, it goes to support the local children's hospital there.
Well,
I would make a trip, right?
At least he's scaring people for a good cause.
For a good cause. It doesn't look too bad.
I don't like haunted houses, so
I love them.
anytime y'all go, I'm not going.
We'll
tell me about them.
We'll take you on a trip and not tell you we're going there.
Absolutely not.
That's how we really scare Dana.
I went to one maybe about, I think, 6 years ago, and I'll never go back.
Hadn't been back.
Really?
Yep. I'll never go back. It was too scary for me.
Oh my gosh, I like them. They're fun. Because they're not really scaring you, they're just doing it for the fun.
Yeah.
Just wait till Halloween.
My brain doesn't know that.
Oh my gosh. All right. Hey, we want to take a live look outside before we head to our weather this morning. We're going to take a live look at ARP High School for the See You at the Pole event. It's a time when students across the country start their day by praying for their school, their teachers, principals, and fellow students. You can see quite a few of them out there right now. See You at the Pole is a global student-led organization which started back in 1990 at a youth group retreat by students who felt led to pray for several schools in the Dallas area. That's where it started and made its way all over the country and here in East Texas.
Looks like things are just wrapping up,
They are.
and hopefully it was a good morning. They didn't get rained on, and
Thankfully.
that makes it even better.
Yeah, no widespread rain right now, but it will be a little bit more widespread a little bit later. We do have that weather impact alert in place for the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms with the potential to produce some damaging winds and flash flooding. Those are the two main hazards that we're going to be watching for. That's going to be between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Now, could we see a couple showers? Yes. Before that, yes. We're already starting to see that on our CBS19 live radar in some spots today. But as we introduce that cold front a little bit closer to the area, on top of some thunderstorms are actually occurring just to the west of Dallas right now. Most of the activity will be happening between that 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. time frame, and the heaviest is going to be within this green shaded area. So that's going to be along I-20 and southward. Of course, there will be a little bit of rain just to the north of there, but the most intense of it will be off to the south. Now, as far as our rainfall threat here, again, it's mainly going to be the same. A lot of it's going to be across deep East Texas. Tyler will be included in that. Jacksonville, Lufkin, Center, anywhere in this blue shaded area will have that potential for some heavy rainfall. I don't expect it to be too much of a widespread threat here, but just know that, especially if you are within this area, at least one or two locations within this area will have that potential to receive maybe at least 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. So heads up on that. Definitely make sure to stay weather aware within that time frame. Again, that time frame, speaking of, right, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. is when we can expect these storms to kind of really start to develop. Damaging winds, 40 to 60 miles per hour. 58 miles per hour or higher is actually considered severe. So 60 mile per hour winds are going to be a possibility in some spots. Flooding, I think, is going to be one of the #1 things that we're going to be watching for as far as these thunderstorms go with the amount of moisture that's in the air. It's very humid this morning. If you step out the door, it is a very humid one, and that's going to really play a role in how much rain we're going to be seeing into the later half of this morning and into early parts of the afternoon. Now, coming up, I will show you what Future Skycast says in your full forecast coming up. We'll be right back.
All right, 7:48, welcome back. September is National Atrial Fibrillation Awareness Month. AFib is the most common type of treated heart arrhythmia, and it can cause irregular heartbeats, which can lead to serious and potentially deadly health problems, but some have no idea they have it. Mandy Gaither has the warning signs to watch out for.
It's a common heart condition. Atrial fibrillation, or AFib, happens when a person's heartbeat becomes irregular and rapid. It can be dangerous, even deadly. In the U.S., AFib is the cause of about 1 in every 7 strokes.
If a blood clot forms in the heart and that blood clot dislodges, the first place it tends to go is to the brain.
Dr. David Singh with El Camino Health says AFib also takes a toll on the heart, increasing risk of heart failure and other health problems as well. Warning signs of AFib include irregular heartbeat, heart palpitations, lightheadedness, extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, and chest pain. But Singh says it's important to know that not everyone will have symptoms.
If someone is having AFib and they don't know about it, it can be taking a toll on the heart silently.
It's unclear why some have symptoms while others don't, so Singh says it's important to know if you're at higher risk of AFib. Factors include advancing age, high blood pressure, obesity, European ancestry, diabetes, and lifestyle choices like moderate to heavy alcohol use and smoking. Singh says AFib gets progressively worse, so getting diagnosed and treated early is key.
It's not the end of the world. We've got a lot of different treatment options available to you. And the most important thing is don't ignore it.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, folks, let's get back into your forecast. So you just saw this graphic a little bit earlier, but again, we're watching for the potential today for damaging wind gusts from 40 to 60 miles per hour. 58 miles per hour is that minimum wind speed to get severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We have that potential at a very marginal level here. Maybe 1 or 2 spots will have that damaging wind threat. And then alongside that, we have that threat for flash flooding as well in a couple of spots. As we take a look at future skycasts, making our way into 9 o'clock and start to see those showers starting to develop into the picture here. And then we head into lunchtime and 1 o'clock. We'll start to see it develop a little bit more along that I-20 corridor. And then as it continues to move to the south, the cold air will be pushing it further to the south and it'll really start to take off over deep East Texas where that most favorable environment is. So that's what we're going to be watching for this afternoon, at least the early part of the afternoon, but by the late evening, dinner time hours, overnight, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Look at these temperatures to start our Thursday. Low to mid 60s, north winds holding on, low humidity, lower temperatures into the next several days. We got 82 to 83 degrees possible into tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be fantastic. And now when all is said and done here, you match the colors with the key right here, we have that potential to receive at least 1.5 to 2 inches of rainfall in some locations, and notice it goes right along this I-20 corridor and southward. That's where the heaviest of the rain is going to be setting up for today. This says over the next 3 days, it's really just only one wave, and that's going to be coming through today. After that, we look fantastic. Look at all the sunshine in our forecast for the next 7 days here. Thursday, Friday, Saturday onward. We got mostly sunny to sunny skies, temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit on the warm side, but check out our low temperatures. We got low temperatures in the low 60s. That means that the air is a little bit drier. So it actually will feel like the middle to upper 80s for the second half of the week, low to mid 80s for this upcoming 48 hours and going into Saturday and Sunday. It'll actually feel a lot more refreshing out there. So that is something to definitely look forward to.
All right, we like refreshing, Joel. Thanks so much. Let's get a break from our news real quick and go back to our question of the day. What instantly makes you feel nostalgic? We talked about, tangible physical things earlier, but what about like food? What kind of food makes you nostalgic?
I mean, if it's like holiday food, like Thanksgiving makes me nostalgic for the times when my grandmother was still alive and cooked all the food. But for me, that definitely is also a thing. That it's music for me. I always think back like a song that like takes me back in time. There are these couple of songs that when I was little called "Playing with the Queen of Hearts" and another one was "Looking for Love," and I can remember like being on the swings with my best girlfriend back then, like in second grade, and I To do that again would be so much fun.
That would be so much
Singing
fun.
at the top of our lungs,
Right.
not caring what we sounded like.
Good old nostalgia.
Another
there.
thing for me is like going back to like my childhood house, like where I grew up, and it just like thinking back to all the memories I had with all my friends in the neighborhood, and just the view like out my backyard I had pine trees in my backyard and a field in the back. It was just a beautiful sight out there, and it just really warms my heart.
Yeah. Or even bike rides. I lived in like in a similar area where you mentioned I had a field behind my backyard where I lived, and a good little nice bike rides in the evenings would make all the difference. Just stress-free after work. Just go outside and play. Homework can wait.
Yeah, when I go back to my hometown, it also brings back memories of like high school and cheering at the football game. It's a lot of fun
So
back
much
then.
fun. All right, well, we're about to step away for a quick moment while we do our over-the-air broadcast with a quick news update.
We'll be right back with more here on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, all. Thank you for joining us for this news update. I'm Dana Dixon.
And I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. We're following breaking news out of Dallas this morning. We've learned 3 people are in critical condition after a shooting at an ICE facility early this morning. Happened around 7. Police responded to that office on North Stemmons Freeway off I-35. This is what it looks like. A lot of backed up traffic. Sources tell our sister station in Dallas that one shooter was found dead on the rooftop of a nearby immigration attorney's office. Police initially searched for a possible sniper or additional shooters, but it's still unclear if others were involved. Of course, this is still developing. We'll keep you posted as we learn more. Now to Cherokee County, where a teenager is recovering after being accidentally shot by a friend earlier this month.
His family calls his survival nothing short of a miracle. The teen was at a friend's house when a gun thought to be unloaded accidentally fired, hitting him in the stomach. Despite the severe injuries, he has made significant progress in his recovery and is now back home with his family.
He barely touched the trigger, just like that, just instantly. It was like a movie. I just heard a big flash, smell of gunpowder, and I was on the ground. I turned around, I was bleeding.
Talking about the path of that bullet, that didn't make sense. There was no logical way to explain how that happened except for by God. There's no luck in it.
Ezekiel and his family emphasize the importance of always handling guns with extreme care, double checking that they're unloaded, and keeping them stored securely.
Now to Winsboro, where the district's assistant band director has resigned after alleged comments related to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The district told us he stepped down on September 12th, that is, while district leaders haven't shared exactly what was said. Interim Superintendent Aaron Nation told the district that they don't condone political hate speech, or discrimination of any kind. He added that Winsboro ISD takes these matters seriously and is committed to maintaining a safe and respectful environment for all students.
All right, let's get a check of your weather. It is a weather impact alert day here at CBS 19.
That's right. You can see the clouds a little bit behind you for sure. You got some unstable air starting to settle into the area. We do have the risk for strong to severe thunderstorms between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. They will have the threat for flash flooding and damaging winds with some of these thunderstorms. So that is something that we're going to be keeping an eye on. That's why the CBS 19 weather experts have declared today a weather impact alert day, is because we do have that shot for isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. Now, when it comes to the rainfall, we go over the next 3 days. It's basically just one wave. Once it passes through, we're going to be done with it. But we match these colors up with the key over there. We have that potential to see at least 1.5 to 2 inches, maybe even 3 inches in some spots. And notice that it's setting up along and south of I-20. I think that's likely where the heaviest of the rain is going to be. So Henderson, Nacogdoches, Lufkin, Jacksonville, and Carthage will have that best shot to see some decently accumulating rainfall. Now, after that, the cold front moves through. We got a much more refreshing forecast ahead of us here. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the low 80s, and overnight lows in the low 60s.